No, because these people who are participating in doing this whole morning shed BS are utterly delusional. I don't care. I really don't. I will not sit back and watch these influencers' morning sheds idly and zip up about it, because you're telling me sleeping with these chin wraps and the mouth tape is somehow going to slow down the natural as F aging process, and not to mention the fact these people truly think, oh, I'm going to wake up a little more glowy in the morning. Doll, that is why highlighter exists. You know that Mario Badescu spray that you have in the back of your cupboard because you've always been an overconsumer? Yes, give it a spritz and give it a rest. The way doing all of this bullshit does absolutely nothing for your appearance is so funny to me, because these people truly think that compromising a comfortable sleep paired with not being able to have a drop of water throughout the night because their mouth is taped shut will somehow make them more beautiful, will somehow decrease the amount of wrinkles they have once they hit 57. But I'm here to tell you that these morning sheds really are not worth it. Not worth a drop of your time, sweetheart. Dolly Parton looks darling at 79, and not once has she partaken in this arsery. And I'm sorry to be so blunt. Actually, no, I am not sorry, because I honestly believe so many people need to hear this and need to understand it at that. We are gonna be in a grave one day. Some might want to be burnt to a crisp and have their remains spread in the parking lot of a Burger King, but no amount of mouth tape is going to shave your jawline down. No amount of layering the creams and putting on the face masks is going to penetrate the outer layer of your skin enough to chill on the wrinkles. And I mean, the chin wraps? Really? I mean, what the y'all doing? Dead ass. I think it's so jarring for me to see this kind of content be so popular with the masses, as it is only just another form of overconsumption. I know, tired old topic at this point, but what happens when you come to your senses and realize that none of these products that are being used by genetically gifted people are gonna give you the same results? This is something that I know people don't like hearing, but a lot of the time, the reason you see people looking so pretty and glowy and no acne and so beautiful is because genetics. Like, some people have it better than others, unfortunately. Some people are able to pay their way into having better looks. And I don't know why people are so afraid of being ugly. Like, I know that's probably strange coming from the mouth of somebody who has so much makeup on their face. I'm not afraid of ugly though. When I was in California for the very first time a couple of years ago, I was told that I have a weird looking nose, that I have what's called an arrow nose. I still don't even know what that means. I mean, maybe you guys can see it. I don't know. Really, it's a nose. I have acne. But those are the things that make me me, and I wouldn't want it to be any other way. I have had conversations with people in the past before where they're like, you know, I'm wanting to get this, that, and the third done. Are you thinking about getting anything done? Like, I think that your nose may need a little bit of a shrink. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because I see my nose and I'm like, it looks pretty normal to me, you know, but I don't want to stare too hard at it just in case. I absolutely despise this negative view on appearance kind of toxic cycle we're constantly running in, because some days maybe I'll do some unsavory makeup looks that aren't as, you know, chilled out as this, and people are like, why did you do that? Like, that doesn't look that good. Oh my God, maybe not everything is supposed to look good, mate. I know no matter how many creams I use, what skincare I buy, the banish your pepperoni face in a matter of seconds, you know, that's not, it's not gonna work, because it's not going to change the fact that I am just genetically predisposed this way. On top of the fact that apparently, like, my hormones are out of control. I just think that sleeping in all of this is useless when you're drinking, smoking, vaping. Maybe you have poor diet habits, you know, and I'm not judging anybody for the latter. I don't, you know, I have put some bad things into my body over the years, okay? Nothing like hard like that, probably where your mind is wandering to. But, you know, I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I used to smoke so so much. But I know that participating in those activities are going to have consequences on my outward appearances. That's why I'm a little confused, because a lot of these morning shed girlies, you know, TikTok accounts that I clicked on, they have an health bar in every single one of their TikToks. And it's like, do you guys realize that no matter how many morning sheds you continuously do, that's not gonna help? You know, put down the vape and maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to get the results you're looking for. And I know that's harsh to hear, but I've had to hear it so many times before. Caitlin, put down the smokes. Caitlin, put down the Pepsi. Caitlin, put down the pizza. And it's like, yeah, it does make all the more the difference. What you put inside of your body, unfortunately, has to make its way out. And there may be consequences on our appearances because of that, but I just wish these people were a little bit more honest with themselves, because maybe the reason you have acne is because of this. Maybe the reason that you're not waking up all glowy is because you're a human being! Like, you are not a real life Facetune photo. Oh my God, and it actually frustrates me so much that people think doing any of this is going to change anything. And here's the thing, right? It is completely normal to a degree to have a nighttime routine in which you wake up in something, such as wearing a bonnet to bed. Bonnets are used for hair protection and also prevents hair getting tangled in your sleep, because, I mean, we're moving around a lot. We're tossing and turning and we're doing all this shit in our sleep because, you know, we're in an alternate reality when we go to bed. At least that's what I believe. Usually people who have hair types anywhere from 3B to 4C need to be wearing bonnets to bed, as their hair is more at risk of being damaged during their sleep. What I will say though is that this is just too much. It gets to a point where it's not even about trying to take care of yourself anymore, as the original poster of this TikTok is so desperately trying to cope about. It's about buying everything that's marketed towards you to be the most beautiful, to have no wrinkles, wanting the flattest stomach, all the while robbing yourself of the very human experience. I genuinely believe if I were to hop inside of a Stewie Griffin-esque time machine and go back all the way to the Cold War, okay, which was not a long time ago, mind you, and I was to show these people what people are doing on social media today, I think I would be taken to the stake for even daring to show people that people of today care so much about their appearance like this. Like, I truly think it is completely fine to want to take care of yourself, to want to take care of your skin, to better your appearance. That's one thing. But this, I do truly believe that some of these people are doing rage bait. There is no way. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe it. Like, oh wow, humans are participating in such a time-wasting trend on social media for what exactly? To wake up a little bit prettier? Well, it's not going to exactly happen that way, because none of that shit works. And must I say too, I am so tired of people's defenses of morning sheds constantly being, oh, just let that person live their life. Let them do what they want to do with themselves. You know, if you didn't want opinions on the way you live your life, you probably wouldn't post it all over TikTok. So that's one thing we're gonna get out of the way real quick. And also, maybe don't be so out of touch. Like, I'm not gonna be that person who says, there are worse things happening in the world, so worry about that. But I do think the one life that we do have, spending it this way is useless. It's a means to an end, because the thing is you're never going to be happy enough with yourself. You know, you get that glowy skin, but now it's something else. You've removed the acne, now it's something else. You have the flat stomach, but now it's something else. I can promise every single morning shedder who goes to this extreme, you are not slowing down fine lines. You are not going to look any different. And in fact, your mental health is going to constantly suffer, because I truly believe that we were not supposed to perceive ourselves like this. We weren't meant to be looking at ourselves like this every single day. Having mirrors is one thing, but constantly just seeking people's validation in the form of how pretty you are, how many wrinkles you don't have, is toxic. Yeah, I know. It's not just taking care of yourself. It's not just living your life the way you want to. Because if you really did care about that stuff, like, why post it all over TikTok? I don't really understand. And like I said before too, being hyper obsessed with your appearance is one thing. Being super aware of it is one thing. But for me personally, it goes way beyond that when you're purposely making yourself uncomfortable whilst you sleep. For what? Genuinely, for what? It also sucks that people have become weirdly insecure about their own night routine, as if brushing your teeth and washing your face isn't enough. Just because you don't have a 20-step night routine doesn't mean you're taking care of yourself any less. I understand wanting to buy these sorts of things that are often promoted in a luxurious tone so that the consumer is enticed to buy these ass products just to feel a smidgen of what these influencers feel on the daily basis. Like that bliss of having your to-do list not be all of these really stressful events in your life, but I need to go return a package, matcha latte, Pilates. And I think another thing that strikes me too is how many young women are participating in this bullshit. These girls' days are mostly consisting of being so terribly obsessed with their appearance, doing anything, buying anything if it means that they can look somewhat prettier, if it means that in future they have less wrinkles, if it means that they're the most perfect person ever. And again, I wish I could just shake these girls and be like, that is not possible. That is not possible. Y'all should be using these early years of your adult life to worry about something like, I don't know, living. I personally don't fear aging because, oh no, I'm going to have fine lines and wrinkles. Oh no, the natural is gonna happen. I fear aging because when your legs don't work like they used to before. I'm just kidding. I hate Eddie Sheeran. No, but like, quick trigger warning, but I grew up as a very suicidal teenager, which meant that, you know, most of those years were spent being isolated, and then COVID hit. And so more isolation as well. And, you know, these days, I am not so chill with the idea of not being alive. Like, I used to be like quite mad chill with that. I was like, yeah, I'd probably be better off out of this planet. But these days, no. Hence, obviously, why I don't want to age. It has nothing to do with my skin and my body doing its natural thing. It's just like, you know, it's a year closer to the thing and just such a bore. You shouldn't be afraid of how you're going to look when you're older. You should be scared shitless that you didn't use these years wisely. And I don't mean like waking up every day being like, what can I do with my time that I'm not going to regret later in the future? No, just like stop worrying about the most insignificant shit on the planet, like doing morning sheds. Like, I'm in full support of doing skincare, makeup, you know, if you want a little bit of a hair extension moment, go for it. But personally, I think this has reached a new low. When I say that a lot of particular industries would be dead in a ditch tomorrow if we collectively decided that we're allowed to be somewhat ugly, the economy would take a significant hit if we decided that actually, no, we don't need mouth tape and chin wraps. Actually, the excessive skincare we purchase is next to being useless. Not only would we have more funds to take on new experiences and memories with the ones we love the most and ourselves, because, you know, we love us, we want our little nice solo dates, but we'd appreciate the fact more that we get to age. We get to have smile lines because we laughed so much. We get to have crow's feet. Hate that term, by the way. Feel like that's very weird. But we get to have those because we smiled so hard. I'm going to smile so much as a protest. Yes, this is a political statement right now. I'm smiling so much because I want the biggest smile lines and I want so many crow's feet. I want everyone to know that I lived a fun life. Sorry. And another thing I want to bring up too is I think the way Sabrina Carpenter treated Dolly Parton is how we should treat older women in general, so that there isn't such a negative emphasis on not looking like her ever. Ew, so many wrinkles, saggy, smile lines, ew. I've got one last thing to say too, and this is to the morning shedders, if I have any who are watching. Understand that the celebrities and influencers and people you see on your TV screen and phone every other day who are older but look so great isn't because they're sleeping in the most inconvenient, uncomfortable way with all this shit on. They have personal trainers, chefs, nutritionalists, surgeons, doctors. I don't know, missing the big amounts of money to pay their way to beauty. Like these injections I've heard of, the Manjaro, all of that stuff. Like the regular person doesn't have access to that. So understand, like, maybe it's not that you're quote unquote ugly. Maybe it's just you don't have enough money to look like them. And also, why would you want to look like them? Why not want to look like yourself? You're so beautiful, babe, and I just wish that you saw that more. Okay, I wish that you looked in the mirror and you didn't think, oh, I wish I looked like them. I don't even want you to wish that you look the way that I do, because it's not that I, don't like myself or whatever. It's that I love you because you're so unique, and I love you because you're so individual from the rest of everybody else. All right, that is why I think you're beautiful, and I think that, you're better than everybody else. Yeah, I've said it, and I am not going to be a mouthpiece to encourage this type of behavior either. I'm not going to say, do what you need to do that makes you feel better, love. Yes, participate in that morning shed bullshit, as it's only going to encourage you guys to follow the next beauty trends and the one after that, and the one after that one, and then the one after that one, and then one after that one too, and that one as well. Remember, ladies, some men aren't even opening those cheeks in the shower, and you're spending all that time doing that. Just don't worry about it. So with all of that being said, everybody, what are your thoughts and opinions on morning shedding? Are you somebody who does it? Why? Let me know down in the comment section below, because again, these topics have nuance. It's not just black and white, and just because I don't agree with something doesn't mean that you have to either. You probably love morning shedding. Tell me why. I want to know why, babe. My camera is constantly making me white as hell. What is going on here? Thank you for your stay at Yappersville today, everybody. Remember, take care of yourselves, and most of all, love your fucking selves. Okay?